I'm going to post this and I'm going to show you guys that I'm not afraid to show my scars. I showed you that I moved into my house. Now I'm going to show you my house is a complete mess. I've got stuff everywhere. I can't even, I'm going to say it, you know I'm not politically correct. I can't even find my underwear. Well, yeah, I did find those. But, I got stuff everywhere and I'm in a mess. Stuff is in dishevel. Got my clothes washing because I had them packed away, and got a new bedroom suit. It's not what I want, but you know, hey, it is. You know, it's nice. I like the blue. It looks a little gaudy to me, but you know, hey, it's what I like. But you know, I'm posting this because every day of my life, well, almost every day, you know, I'm going to be doing something to help other people, which inadvertently helps me. You need to wake up every day. I'm going to implore everybody. If you are not happy, and even if you are, you need to make a list of all the things that you want to do in this life, all the things that is not going to make you happy, and what will make you happy. Now, mind you, happiness is it's temperamental. Peace is what we really should be looking for. And there's a certain peace that comes from God, but everybody doesn't want to believe in that God peace. So you need to be finding some kind of peace. Whatever it is that you need to make life better for you. I'm going to tell you, that God peace, that peace that you know when you're looking for a heavenly home. And if you can find that, if you say, God, what do I need to do to get to heaven? You will, from that point, if you find that peace, you will not want to lose it again. Because, you know, when you start studying your Bible and you understand that, you know, there's no promise that people are going to treat you right. There's no promise that things are going to be wonderful. Matter of fact, I want to be dedicated to God, and that means that I'm willing to go through turmoil. And that means when people do me wrong, I'm going to treat them with love. I finally learned how to do that. When people hurt you the worst, you got to return it with love because you decided to be that person. And no one else gets a vote when it comes to that. People can dog you, they hurt you. You still got to remain a loving person. When you have anxiety, when things are tough, when you don't have enough money, you've got to learn that happiness, that peacefulness, that friendliness, that person that wants to be a Christian at all times, you can't lose it. Even when things get rough, even when you're under stress, you have to practice that. And you need to wake up every morning and say, I'm going to practice that. If you got kids that are struggling on drugs, if you're struggling with addiction, you know, you got to work on that. You know, you have to have a plan in place for everything. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens on accident. Nothing. The people who are happy and peaceful and it, what's the word I'm looking for? Who are sound and they okay with where they are. You know, there's some people who just stepped into a pot of gold. That's rare. But for the rest of us, we had to put the work in. And we had to keep on going, even when people talked about us, when we felt insecure. And that's another, if you feel insecure about who you are, face it. Don't say, I don't care what nobody believes, knowing good and well you toe up from the floor up if somebody criticizes you. Start telling the truth. You know, there's a lot of people insecure. I'm not looking for love. I don't need nobody knowing good and well you aching on the inside for somebody to find value in you and to like you. You know, but I got my own value now. And once I find that, I'm finding people just, yeah, my phone never stops ringing. And that's the point of this today, is that I'm busy. But yet I have people calling me, you know, just to talk, struggling with what they are, and I take time out of my busy day, and you know what? It makes my life worthwhile. You know, I don't know where God is going to take me, and I don't know where I'm going. I made a lot of mistakes, but I do know this. God is not yet. So remember that old song? God has not promised me sunshine That's not the way it's going to be. But a little rain mixed with all the sunshine. A little pain. Okay, I'm in the house by myself, so I could do that. Um, I'm taking life as it comes, and I got the God piece in my life, and I'm helping people. What's going to happen next is up to God. I'm not perfect, but I'm still struggling. But you guys make that list. If you have hurt some people, call them and say you're sorry. You know, because we put on posts when people hurt us, and we post on Facebook. Oh, this and I used to look at people's pages and say to myself, well, they got a whole lot of nerve because you did it to me. And you posting about somebody doing it to you. Yeah, you got a lot of nerve, but I had to let it go because that kept me stuck. Watching what other people do, waiting for an apology when I haven't apologized to all the people that I've hurt. But I'm doing my work. I'm not interested in people who have hurt me. I'm not interested in getting that apology. But I do want you to, because otherwise you're going to have gate trouble. In the end, you're going to answer for everything you've done. And I'm not holding on to anything. I love people enough. Even people who have hurt me, I love you enough to where I want you to get things straight. I want you to make a list. I want you to know what you got to work on. And I want you to be okay with where you are. I want you to be able to have anxiety in your life and regulate your emotions so that you do not start mistreating other people because the things in your life are not right. It's not okay. I go to restaurants and things ain't right and they don't get, you know what? I have a house. And as I put things up, I'm realizing I'm putting things where I want them to be. And so it's becoming my home. So I'm blessed. So I got to always remember, even when I don't have everything I want, I'm a blessed man. And I'm sending this message to you so that you can do the same thing. I don't know if my end goal, I know I'm in school for social work. I know that I'm going to get my degree in theology. I don't know what I'm going to do in this life because I already know that God has saved my life several times. I've had guns put to my head. I've almost died. I've been in the hospital, had people rushing around, because I was at death's door. So God saved me for something. And I'm going to share this. September 3rd, 2017, I made a decision that I didn't want to end my life, but I took steps to. And I laid down and I had almost 30 sleeping pills and 5 other things in my body. And I laid down and I went to sleep. And I thought that was it. And then I realized, oh my God, I really don't want to die. I'm going to hell. I can laugh about it now. But I was upset because, and I'm going to say this, who I called my very first godson, Omar White, broke my heart. I love that kid. I love that kid. But he looked at me, and he was right. He said, man, Pops, I can deal with your addiction, but I won't let you bring it into my son's life. And I knew he was right. I knew he had told the truth. And because I knew I was out of order, that's when I got desperate. And plus I had lost my mother that year. So I went to sleep thinking that this was it. Do you know that with all that, I did not even oversleep? I woke up the same time I woke up every morning, knowing in my brain that God said no. God said no. And I knew that because the things the Spirit was putting in, it was just putting things in my mind. And I was just thinking about laying in the bed. Now, I felt terrible. I had all that in my system. I didn't end up in the hospital for 2 or 3 days later. But when I woke up, my God, he was standing, well, I call him my godson. He was standing over me, and he said, I got my son downstairs, and I want you to meet him. And I was too sick to get out of bed, but you know what, I was like, that wasn't nothing but God. So I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I do know that God is in control, and he wants me to do something, and I'm going to do it. And if you have the mind to where you start following God and say, I'm willing to hold on even though the boat's rocking, even though things are hurtful, even though people don't seem to like me or appreciate me. God chooses you even before you choose him. So that's the message I have for you today. Like this message, please share it, because somebody is suffering. Even if it didn't help you, somebody needs to hear this today. God bless.